श्री महागणपते नमः, श्री सरस्वती नमः, श्रीपादवल्लभ नरसिंह सरस्वती, श्री गुरु दत्तात्रेयाय नमः.
The second speaker for today would be Dr. Rajagopal Jambunathan, who is an ardent devotee of Swamiji and an eminent and leading cardiologist from Mysore. He is an interventional cardiologist, works with the Fortis Group and also an in-house doctor for our ashram hospital. I welcome Dr. Rajagopal to the podium.
Jai Guru Datta. I thank the organizers for providing me an opportunity on this nice conference. I think you had a very good session yesterday, and I think we'll have a very nice session today also. Regarding cardiovascular health, one of the major effects of yoga and pranayama has been on cardiovascular health benefits. The Western population has taken up yoga in a big way because they have seen the benefits of cardiovascular health due to yoga. I think this is one of the major reasons why yoga is popular in the West. If we, next slide please. If we see the global burden of the heart disease, world over when we see heart diseases are increasing. The cardiovascular diseases, especially in the developing countries, are increasing at a very high proportion, and it is further likely to go on increasing further if we don't take corrective action. Next slide please. When we see the coronary artery disease in India, though the disease was initially thought to be a disease of the rich and affluent class, now India is slowly getting into the mode where cardiovascular diseases affects even the poorest of the poor, and it has no relation to economy or even the lifestyle. So in India, the incidence of cardiovascular disease, you can see that it is 20 times more than in the Japanese, and it's almost 4 times that of the Americans. So a person is likely to have a heart disease just being an Indian. That's why it's very important for us to take preventive measures and prevent this epidemic from increasing. The next slide please. According to a mega study called the InterHeart study, around 90% of all the heart attacks are preventable. So what they did is they saw some 20,000 patients with heart attacks and analyzed what causes the heart attacks. So they found out that there are 2 components. One is a modifiable risk factor, another is a non-modifiable risk factor. So the modifiable risk factors are those which we know, that is physical inactivity, abdominal obesity, inappropriate diet, that is lack of intake of fruits and vegetables, smoking, then other diseases like diabetes, hypertension, high cholesterol, and most importantly, stress. So these are modifiable, which is in our hand to control and prevent this from increasing. There are certain non-modifiable risk factors. These risk factors are such that we cannot do anything, like age. As you age, the increased incidence of heart disease is more. Family history. If you have a family person, a parent or a brother or a sister with heart disease, the incidence of heart disease is high. And male gender is more prone to heart disease. Even disease is little partial towards women. Even these factors actually cause heart disease only when they are influenced by the modifiable risk factors. So out of these modifiable risk factors, what we saw, physical inactivity inappropriate diet, and stress. All three of them directly are affected, are influenced by yoga, and the rest of them are influenced indirectly by yoga. The next slide. So, as you all know that yoga has three components, and when we split it according to science, it can be split into Hatha Yoga or physical exercise, breathing exercise, and pranayama and meditation or dhyana. The positive effects of yoga and cardiovascular health has been studied and proven on all the three aspects of yoga, and especially in the prevention of heart disease. The Datta Kriya Yoga, which is propounded by Sri Swamiji, is a very good mixture of all these three, and is definitely the ideal form of yoga to be practiced to prevent heart disease. There are more than 1,200 scientific papers on the positive effects of yoga on the heart, and I collected a few data to show you what are the effects of yoga on the heart. These papers can be separated into 4 headings. One is the primary prevention or the primordial prevention. That is, before any disease is set, before any risk factor is there, maintain a good lifestyle so that we can prevent heart disease. Primary prevention is when there are risk factors, when you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol or blood pressure which is not controlled, diabetes. With all this, we can prevent heart disease by having a good lifestyle. That is primary prevention. Secondary prevention is after diagnosis of a heart disease, either by investigations or when the patient has a heart attack. And tertiary prevention is to prevent the complications associated with a heart disease. Next. Regarding primary and primordial prevention, application of yoga as a therapeutic tool for primordial prevention started in the early 20th century. People started getting idea that yoga is likely to prevent a heart disease if you maintain a good lifestyle. And as a result, Hatha Yoga is one of the most popular form of yoga to attain a primary prevention. Next. Studies have shown that at least 40 minutes of Hatha Yoga daily for 6 months produces the following health benefits. It reduces weight by 2 to 15%, which is very significant. If you reduce weight by 10%, it reduces heart diseases by around 30%. That is the benefit of weight reduction. It reduces the blood sugar level and improves HbA1c, which is a marker of diabetes, by approximately 1%. 1% reduction in HbA1c translates to 10% reduction in heart disease. It reduces the blood pressure by 10 to 15 millimeters of mercury compared to ordinary exercise. So yoga is better in reducing the blood pressure compared to aerobics. It helps in better control of blood pressure in addition to medications. It also reduces total cholesterol by around 25 millimeters of mercury of the bad cholesterol, that is the LDL, and increases the good cholesterol or the HDL by 10 milligrams. This translates to around 10% decrease in the heart risk. Next, please. What about stress? We all know that yoga, especially pranayama and meditation, reduces stress. Stress has its bad effects through the sympathetic stimulation. It will increase the production of hormones like angiotensin, and it increases the risk of atherosclerosis. Atherosclerosis is deposition of cholesterol in the arteries, which leads to heart attacks and stroke. So what does yoga do? Next slide, please. Next, please. Stress. One more click. Okay. Yoga or pranayama. Next. It decreases the sympathetic stimulation, increases the parasympathetic stimulation, activation. It decreases cytokines and oxidative stress. And next, it increases the vascular reactivity. Once the vascular reactivity is activated, the risk of heart attack and stroke is less. Go back, slides. Back, please. Back. The measurement of stress is very difficult. So stress cannot be objectively measured according to science. But we can indirectly know that yoga reduces stress by looking at the amount of medications a patient needs to, for stress, decreasing his anxiety. It helps in augmenting the relaxation response of anxiolytic drugs, and according to the Cochrane Review is a large database. It tells that pranayama is especially helpful in controlling anxiety disorders. It improves the stress testing on the exercise capacity. Suppose a patient has a heart disease, if you check his stress testing or thallium study before and after, definitely yoga and pranayama decreases the amount of stress in the heart and decreases the amount of the ischemic heart disease. It reduces fatigue associated with heart failure, and that produced by various medications used for that. Next slide, please. Next, please. Next. Go to the next. Back. Okay. What about secondary prevention? In secondary prevention, after a patient has had a heart attack or has been diagnosed with a heart disease, it reduces depression and anxiety. It decreases the disease-related anxiety, especially with pranayama. Next slide. Rehabilitation and palliative care. Yoga improves early return to normal activity in patients after coronary artery bypass surgery and also angioplasty, and also helps the patient to recover faster after a heart attack or a myocardial infarction. It has to be emphasized that in hospital, patients with a heart attack or bypass surgery, meditation and pranayama techniques have to be started well before discharge, and they have to continue it beyond discharge in their homes. And Hatha Yoga can be started as early as 1 week after bypass surgery or a heart attack, and it has to be continued, and it promotes early recovery of the patient and getting back to normal work. Next, please. What about heart failure? Heart failure is defined as the reduced capacity of the heart to contract. There are a lot of papers which have shown that heart failure is very much helped by yoga, especially asanas, that is Hatha Yoga and pranayama. Hatha Yoga has been shown to increase the baroreceptor sensitivity and a reduction in the heart rate variability. Pranayama, as Dr. Bhagyarao has told, reduces the response of the respiratory system to stress. So the respiratory rate comes down, the heart rate variability comes down. As a result, there is a lot of improvement in the physical condition of the patient, and he can tolerate the heart failure very well, and recovery from heart failure is faster. There are certain markers of heart failure in the blood which indicate damage to the heart, and these markers have been shown to get reduced after sessions of yoga and pranayama. The oxygen efficiency of the tissues and the heart increases by pranayama, and the physical endurance is improved by around 57%. Overall, the cardiovascular risk is reduced by around 7%, and patients practicing yoga show better tolerance for activities of daily living. Next, please. So, to conclude, yoga is beneficial in primary and secondary prevention and also in rehabilitation of cardiac patients. It can thus play a significant primary complementary role in reducing the burden of cardiovascular disease worldwide. Since it's non-invasive, inexpensive, and suitable for practically everyone, even for the bedridden patient, yoga can be practiced. It is quite likely that yoga will be recognized as the main supportive adjunct to various medical conditions, especially cardiovascular disease, and may be a standalone treatment for some diseases. So anyone concerned with risk of cardiovascular diseases as well as overall health should incorporate yoga into their lifestyle. The dictum is, you have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Next. Thanks for your kind attention.